Appreciate not only your willingness, but it was your idea to come out and take questions from this audience. And I know that we're all appreciative of that and looking forward to it. Now,
thank you very much.
Hello. The question is, over the last 10 years, you've added over $1 trillion in debt to our national economy. That comes along with a price tag of approximately $32.3 billion in debt servicing costs per year, which if we divided that money between every municipality in Canada, every single municipality, small and large, would have an additional $9 million. And since we all know that the budget will not balance itself, when are you going to balance the budget?
Excellent. Well, listen, I really appreciate the question, because the reality that all of you know is that Canadians are squeezed right now. We're faced with grocery prices that are too high, rents that are too high, mortgage payments that are too high. We're faced with challenges around fuel and heating costs that are really hurting ordinary families. So what we did, well, I'll talk about the carbon tax a little later if I get a question on that, but right now I'm talking about how we're going to support with affordability. So we made the decision that if the federal government has a really strong fiscal position, which we do, by all independent analysts and experts, what better to do with that strong fiscal position than to invest in the things that Canadians need? So we're delivering dental care to over 100,000 seniors over the past month who've gotten dental care for the first time, many of them in years. We're delivering pharmacare over the coming years to make insulin free in this country and provide prescription contraceptives for free to women across this country. We're stepping up with $10 a day childcare right across the country, because that's an economic program and a social program. We're stepping up with child food, student food programs, national food policies for school. Going to lift 400,000 kids into better nutritionist spaces. We made the conscious and deliberate decision to say, if the Canadian economy is as strong as it is right now, which it is, we need to put that in service of helping Canadians with the cost of living right now without increasing inflation. And that's why the Bank of Canada was able to just drop the rate on Wednesday, because inflation is coming down and now interest rates are going to come down as well. So that was a choice we made. And in parenthesis, every single one of those programs, dental, pharma, childcare, are things that the Conservative Party chose to vote against because they're worried that inflation was too high. Well, we're dropping inflation and we're being there for Canadians, not with cuts and austerity, and we're going to keep doing that. And on the carbon price, it actually puts more money in the pockets of 8 out of 10 Canadian families. That's a parliamentary budget officer who says that. It's absolutely true.
thank you, Prime Minister.
Good afternoon, Karina Williams, Reeve, Northern Sunrise County. Prime Minister, I would like to know if you have been in person to the North Peace region of Alberta to actually see our oil and gas industry. If so, where and when? Because your misinformation continues, which I am confident would not be the case if you experience the true clean industry for yourself, and that way we would not need the carbon tax. Thank you.
Prime Minister.
I've visited Fort McMurray and the oil sands many times over the years, but I haven't been to that particular region. You're absolutely right. But I do know how important the energy industry is to this country. And I say energy writ large because oil and gas has been a strong driver of the national economy for many, many decades. When Alberta does well, Canada does well. And that's just a basic truth. And that's something that we need to make sure we're continuing. The issue, though, excuse me, ma'am, the issue is that the world is choosing to reduce its carbon emissions right now. Investment is flowing where carbon emissions are being reduced. And we want to make sure that we continue to be part of providing energy solutions to the world. The oil sands were a technological innovation to get energy out of the oil sands. It took technology to figure it out. There's a technological problem we're having right now of reducing carbon emissions around the world because the world is warming at an alarming rate. We need to respond to the challenges of climate change, and quite frankly, we need to make sure that the energy industry in Alberta is not just able to reduce its emissions, but able to innovate so there are more good jobs for Albertan energy workers for decades to come, even as the world becomes less reliant on oil and gas. That is the situation we're facing right now. It's not me who's decided that the world is changing the way we consume energy. That's happening. And if Alberta and Canada are going to be part of that transformation and indeed benefit from continuing to provide energy to the world, we have to continue to invest in transforming and reducing our emissions while we continue to provide energy to the world. And the price on pollution, the carbon tax, is an important part of that. It has been designed so that 8 out of 10 families get more money back every year from that price on pollution than it actually costs them. That's the core math of it. It's a way of driving down our emissions while we prepare for a stronger economy of the future. And I know Albertans want to protect our environment for future generations like all Canadians do, and that's what we're going to continue to do together. You all know how easy and tempting it is to sort of shrug things off and say, oh, well, no, that's another order of government's responsibility. I can't help you on that, but yeah, we really should try and push that other order of government together.